There are hidden forces that move around us every day, silently shaping our lives, our relationships, and even our prosperity. Most people never notice them. They believe their struggles are random, their lack of abundance just bad luck, their constant tensions inside the home nothing more than coincidence. But those who truly observe, those who dare to look deeper, discover a truth that can change everything. The energy of your living space is not neutral. It either elevates you or silently drains you. And the most powerful center of this energy is your living room, the very heart of your home. Imagine this for a moment. Every conversation you have, every laugh, every tear, every silence, it all leaves an imprint, a vibration that lingers in the walls, in the objects, in the air itself. This invisible current becomes a mirror of your inner life. If your living room radiates harmony, opportunities flow to you like a river. But if it is filled with disorder, forgotten objects, or invisible barriers, then abundance slips away without you even realizing it. Prosperity knocks on your door, but finds no place to stay. Ancient wisdom reveals something extraordinary. By shifting just a few elements in your living room, you can unlock a constant flow of wealth and stability. There is one specific object, often underestimated, that holds the key to this transformation. Positioned in the right way, it does not simply decorate, it becomes a magnetic field of prosperity, a spiritual guardian of your abundance. And combined with a simple ritual, it can open doors that you thought were forever closed. This is not superstition. It is the art of aligning your home with the same universal forces that govern the rise and fall of your life. The living room is not just a physical space. It is a spiritual command center. The way you treat it defines whether you are aligned with growth and fortune, or trapped in cycles of scarcity and tension. Stay with me, because in this journey you will not only understand the invisible obstacles blocking your prosperity, you will also discover how to remove them and how to awaken the object that can forever change the energy of your home. What comes next will not only surprise you, it may redefine the way you look at your own life and the space where you live. There are moments in life when we feel that something is not flowing as it should. Money seems to come, but it disappears quickly. Peace enters the home, but soon turns into tension. Opportunities arrive, but they never stay. People often believe these experiences are caused by chance or by forces outside their control. But what if the cause is closer than you think? What if the very space you live in is shaping the destiny of your life? The ancients believed that every room has a soul, and the strongest of them is the living room. It is there that invisible energies gather, multiply, and spread through every corner of the house. What happens in this room does not stay in this room. It echoes into your health, your fortune, and even your relationships. Think about it. The living room is where guests are welcomed, where family sits together, where silence or laughter leaves a mark. Every word spoken, every sigh, every burst of joy or anger, they do not simply vanish. They remain like invisible fingerprints on the walls, on the air, on the objects. Day after day, these energies grow heavier or lighter, brighter or darker, depending on how you treat this space. Some people live for years without realizing that the reason they feel exhausted, unlucky, or constantly anxious has nothing to do with the outside world, but with the unbalanced field they created in their own home. There is a story often told in circles of wisdom about a woman who once had everything in order in her life: a stable job, a warm family, and dreams that seemed reachable. Yet slowly, her living room became crowded with forgotten objects, broken items she never fixed, and pictures that carried memories of loss. Without noticing, she began to experience arguments at home, financial struggles, and a heavy sadness that she could not explain. She searched for answers in her work, in her health, in fate itself, but never in her house. When she finally invited a teacher of ancient knowledge to enter her home, the answer was immediate. Her living room was not only disorganized, it was sick. It had become a mirror of her fears and her stagnation. The moment she cleared the space and aligned it with harmony, everything began to change. Conflicts softened, money stopped escaping, and a new vitality filled her days. This is the kind of truth that many refuse to believe because it seems too simple. How can a room control the fortune of a person? How can furniture, objects, or decoration affect relationships and abundance? But here lies the mystery. The living room is not just a room. It is the stage where energies from all directions meet. When the stage is in balance, life flows like a river. When the stage is broken, life becomes a constant struggle. Perhaps you have felt it yourself. You enter a house and immediately sense something is wrong, even without knowing why. Or you step into a different place and suddenly feel peace, warmth, and joy. The walls do not speak, but they carry voices of energy. Your own living room is speaking to you right now. Are you listening? If you could see the invisible, if you could touch the vibrations that move through your home, you would understand why some days feel like blessings and others like curses. Psychologists might say it is the subconscious mind reacting to symbols, memories, and associations hidden in objects around you. Spiritual traditions will call it energy, aura, or vibration. In truth, both are pointing to the same secret. Your environment is not passive, it is active. It is like a silent partner in your destiny. The living room, more than any other space, is the commander of this influence. It is where the energy of family and visitors converges, where external fortune enters and decides if it will stay or leave. And yet, most people treat their living room as just another space, forgetting that it is, in fact, the heart of their home. Now imagine for a moment, what if your living room is unknowingly rejecting prosperity? What if the way your furniture is placed is symbolically closing the doors of opportunity? What if objects you ignore every day are quietly freezing time, trapping your life in endless repetition? These are not abstract questions. They are realities that millions live without ever realizing. Each forgotten item, each broken thing, each misplaced symbol becomes a barrier, an invisible wall, against growth. And when energy cannot circulate, neither can abundance. The ancients spoke with certainty. The outer world reflects the inner world. If your living room is heavy, chaotic, or stagnant, so too will be your inner life. And if your inner life is unbalanced, it will echo back into your home. It is a circle that never stops until you consciously break it. But here lies the secret that gives hope. Once you recognize the influence of your living room, you can change it. And by changing it, you change yourself. By aligning your home, you align your destiny. Think carefully about this. If everything in the universe is energy and motion, then every object in your room is either helping or hindering your flow. There is no neutrality. The living room is a battlefield of symbols, and your future is the prize. You may think this is exaggerated, but reflect on your own life. How many times have you felt stuck, repeating the same financial challenges, the same arguments, the same emotional struggles? How many times have you wondered why nothing seems to change? Perhaps the change cannot come until your living room is prepared to receive it. This truth may disturb you, and it should. It shakes the common belief that luck and misfortune are random. It forces you to look not at the outside, but at what is right in front of you, every day in silence. Because behind every blocked opportunity, there may be a blocked space. Behind every cycle of scarcity, there may be a cycle of disorder in your home. And the most surprising part is that the solutions are not impossible. They are often simple, precise, and waiting to be applied. This is why it is so important to stay with me. Because what you are about to discover may challenge the way you see your own home forever. You will learn how to identify the silent traps that prevent prosperity from staying, the invisible obstacles that keep happiness at a distance. You will see how even the smallest details, like the direction of a seat or the presence of a broken clock, can decide whether abundance flows or stops. And once you understand this, you will never look at your living room the same way again. The path ahead is not about superstition. It is about consciousness. It is about claiming the right to live in a space that truly supports you, rather than one that secretly sabotages you. And the deeper you go into this knowledge, the more you will realize that your living room is not just a room. It is a living force, a reflection of your inner self, and the gateway to the life you seek. So, listen closely. The next step is not just to accept that your living room matters. It is to recognize the specific forces inside it that are blocking your prosperity right now. And when you see them, you will finally have the power to remove them. The question is, will you be ready to face the 6 hidden enemies that may be living in your home at this very moment? There comes a time when what is hidden must be revealed. You have already begun to sense that your living room is more than a physical space. It is the pulse of your home, the stage where your destiny is silently shaped. And now it is time to expose what Helena Blavatsky called the veils of illusion, the forces that seem ordinary but are secretly stealing your prosperity. The first veil is the way you place your furniture, especially the sofa. Most people think it is only about comfort, but imagine this. Every time your sofa turns its back to the entrance, you are symbolically turning your back on opportunities. It is like closing your eyes to the arrival of fortune, ignoring the very doors through which life tries to bring you new chances. You may think this is meaningless, yet have you noticed how often you feel uneasy, tense, or insecure without reason in such a space? That is your subconscious warning you that you are unprotected, exposed, disconnected. The invisible becomes the real. The second veil is even more insidious. Clocks that no longer work. They sit there quietly, but their silence is heavy. They are not neutral objects. They are symbols, powerful ones. A stopped clock tells your mind and your spirit that time itself has stopped for you. Dreams remain frozen, goals are delayed, and every new day feels like a repetition of the old. It is not just decoration, it is an anchor holding your future hostage. People who keep broken clocks often feel trapped in cycles they cannot escape, but they never connect the dots. They blame their jobs, their luck, or fate itself, never realizing that the message of stagnation is repeating itself every day, right in their living room. Then comes the third veil, walls that carry wounds, cracks, stains, peeling paint, moisture that spreads silently. These are not only visual imperfections, they are signals of decay, instability, and insecurity. When you live surrounded by broken walls, your mind absorbs the suggestion that something is always fragile, always unfinished, always waiting to collapse. And soon your finances, your health, even your relationships begin to reflect the same pattern. The environment whispers a lie until you accept it as truth, that nothing is stable, nothing is safe. Yet the moment you restore these walls, repair the cracks, clean the stains, you do more than fix the material. You heal the energy of your home and of yourself. Perhaps you already see the pattern. These are not small details. They are messages your subconscious reads every day. And whether you believe in mystical energy or pure psychology, the effect is the same. Your living room is teaching your mind to either thrive or collapse. What you allow to remain in disorder becomes the law of your life. What you ignore in your house, you will end up repeating in your destiny. Stories like that of Matilda prove this truth. She never believed her financial problems were connected to her home until a teacher of wisdom revealed it. When she changed the position of her sofa, when she removed the broken clock, when she painted the cracked wall, her life began to transform. It was not magic, it was alignment. It was her mind finally receiving the message of order, stability, and openness to prosperity. And once her mind changed, opportunities stayed instead of running away. Ask yourself now, what messages is your living room sending to your mind every single day? Is it saying that you are open to wealth, that time is flowing, that your foundations are solid? Or is it repeating that you are closed, frozen, and fragile? This reflection may feel uncomfortable, but it is the discomfort of truth, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and that means change has already started. This is the moment when you must take a powerful step. If you want your mind, your house, and your destiny to align with prosperity, you must declare it. Write these words in the comments right now. I accept wealth. Do not hesitate. Do not think twice. The act of writing it is more than a phrase. It is a command to your subconscious and a signal to the universe that you are ready. Those who take action will feel the shift immediately, because they are not just listeners, they are participants of their own transformation. And after you write it, look around you. Somewhere on this screen there is a red button. Only the chosen will click it. Only those who truly want to seal this path of prosperity will subscribe now. If you are ready to be blessed, if you are ready to walk the path of abundance, then prove it. Click the red button and join this circle of chosen ones. Your future self will thank you for the decision you make in this exact moment, because what comes next will reveal even deeper forces, even more subtle obstacles that may already be living in your home without your awareness. The veils are many, but so is your power to lift them. Stay, because the next discovery may be the one that changes your life forever. Now you already know that what looks simple often hides a deep truth. The living room is not a neutral stage. It is alive, shaping your emotions and even your future. But there are more forces at play, more subtle chains that hold back your prosperity without you realizing it. These are the forces that whisper to you every day, not with words, but with the weight of atmosphere, with the invisible language of energy. And unless you bring them into the light, they will continue to decide the rhythm of your life without your consent. One of the most misunderstood of these forces is the mirror. People place mirrors for decoration, to create space, to reflect light. But in the ancient wisdom of feng shui, a mirror is never innocent. It is a portal, a gate that doubles or disperses energy. If it reflects the right symbol, it multiplies abundance. If it reflects the wrong symbol, it pushes prosperity away. Imagine a mirror facing your front door. The moment wealth enters, it is reflected back outside. Visitors may not notice it, but they feel something strange, as if the house does not welcome them. And you, without knowing, live in a space that keeps rejecting blessings. How many times has money come into your life only to disappear just as fast? How many times have you wondered why opportunities seem to slip away the moment they arrive? Another invisible chain is connected to memory. Many people fill their living room with pictures of relatives who are no longer in this world. They think they are honoring the past, and perhaps on an emotional level, they are. But the living room is not a place of mourning. It is the space of life. To fill it with images of the dead is to anchor the room in nostalgia, in loss, in absence. The energy becomes heavy, solemn, and instead of inviting joy, it invites silence. You may not notice the effect at first, but slowly conversations become less light, laughter less frequent, and vitality fades. The home begins to carry the vibration of what is gone, not of what is alive. Can you see now how even a simple photograph can alter the destiny of a space? Think of the times you entered a house and felt a strange melancholy. The family may have been polite, the room decorated, but the air carried a weight you could not explain. Often the answer lies on the walls, portraits of those who are no longer here, memories that belong to sacred places of remembrance, not to the heart of the living home. Ask yourself, what energy is stronger in your living room? Celebration or absence? Which of the two do you want your life to reflect? There is yet another force that often goes unnoticed. Words spoken in anger. The living room, being the center of interaction, is also the place where conflicts often arise. And while most people believe that words vanish once spoken, traditions in psychology agree on something surprising. Words remain. They imprint themselves on memory, and according to ancient teachings, they also imprint themselves on space. A fight in the living room leaves behind more than tension. It leaves scars in the energy of the room. These scars build up until the space itself resists harmony. Families start avoiding the living room, choosing isolation instead of togetherness. The result? Broken bonds, stagnant prosperity, and a subtle sadness that no one can explain. Have you ever noticed how some rooms feel tense even when no one is speaking? Have you felt the weight of silence after a conflict, as if the walls themselves are carrying what was said? This is not imagination. It is the invisible residue of negative words. And until you cleanse it, the space will keep repeating the same cycle of tension and scarcity. So what do we see now? Mirrors that can either open or close the flow of wealth. Photographs that may honor the past but steal from the present. Words that leave invisible stains, turning the living room into a battlefield instead of a sanctuary. These are not small matters. These are the silent architects of your destiny. When you ignore them, they design your life for you. When you recognize them, you take back control. But here comes a deeper question. Why do so many of us keep these patterns alive, even when they harm us? Why do we keep the mirror in the wrong place, the broken memories on display, the arguments at the center of our home? The answer is uncomfortable, but liberating. We keep them because the mind resists change. The subconscious clings to the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. And unless you confront this resistance, your life will remain chained to the same cycles. What if you decided today to challenge that resistance? What if instead of keeping what is broken or heavy, you chose symbols of light and movement? Imagine replacing a portrait of absence with a picture of joy, a moment of life captured in color. Imagine turning your mirror to reflect a plant, a light, or an image of growth. Imagine choosing silence and calm after a conflict instead of letting anger dominate the room. Can you feel how these small choices would ripple into every area of your life? This is the secret most people never realize. Prosperity is not only about money. It is about the vibration of your home, the state of your relationships, the quality of your daily emotions. A wealthy life is not measured only by numbers, but by the harmony that surrounds you. And when your living room becomes a sanctuary of peace, prosperity in all forms, financial, emotional, spiritual, finds a permanent place in your life. Take a pause now and reflect. If someone entered your living room today, what invisible message would they feel? Would they sense welcome or rejection, joy or sorrow, abundance or lack? And if a stranger can feel it, imagine how much stronger the effect is on you, the one who lives in it every single day. The truth is that most people underestimate their environment because they cannot see the energy with their eyes. But everything is energy, and everything communicates. A mirror, a photo, a word. All of them are signals. And your subconscious, which never stops listening, is always receiving these signals. Over time, those signals become beliefs, and beliefs shape destiny. That is why changing your living room is not superficial. It is psychological reprogramming. It is spiritual realignment. It is choosing a different future. But here is where the suspense grows stronger. Because once you clear these veils, once you remove the chains of mirrors, memories, and conflicts, something else is revealed. Something more powerful, more direct, and far less understood. It is the presence of a sacred object, an ancient symbol that can transform your living room into a generator of wealth and stability. Unlike the obstacles, this object does not drain, it creates. It does not block, it multiplies. And it may be the missing key you have been searching for. So do not leave now. Because what comes next is not just about avoiding mistakes, but about awakening a source of prosperity that has been hidden in plain sight. You have seen the shadows. Soon you will see the light. And once you do, you will never be able to look at your living room or your life the same way again. When we reach this stage of the journey, something profound begins to unfold. It is no longer only about identifying what blocks prosperity, but about awakening the hidden forces that can invite it into your life. The veils of illusion fall one after another, and in their place comes the recognition of a truth that is both ancient and timeless. The living room can become not just a neutral environment, but an active magnet for abundance. And at the center of this transformation stands a mysterious yet powerful object, often overlooked because it seems so simple, but revered by those who understand the laws of energy. It is known as the vessel of abundance, a sacred container prepared with intention, capable of turning invisible currents into lasting fortune. For centuries, different cultures have used symbolic containers to preserve wealth and energy. In ancient China, households placed jars filled with grains, herbs, and coins to represent abundance that never ends. In parts of India, vessels of copper or clay were used in rituals to attract prosperity and ward off misfortune. Even in Europe, it was common for families to keep hidden jars with personal treasures, treating them as protectors of the household's stability. Modern researchers in anthropology have found evidence of similar practices across continents, proving that the idea of preserving abundance in a vessel is a universal archetype. It reveals something deep about human consciousness, the need to materialize intention through a physical object. What makes the vessel of abundance unique is not only its form, but the way it is prepared. It must be chosen carefully, round in shape with a narrow opening and a wide body, symbolizing the gathering of wealth and the protection against loss. The material matters too. Glass, ceramic, or clay are preferred because they carry stability and hold energy. But what goes inside is even more important. Coins represent real value. Cinnamon or other sacred spices represent purification and attraction. Crystals amplify intention, especially citrine, long called the stone of prosperity, and clear quartz, known for expanding positive energy. And finally, a handwritten affirmation, clear and direct, becomes the seed that feeds the whole container. When you place inside a sentence such as, "Wealth flows to me constantly and abundantly," you are encoding your energy into the object itself. At this point, some may ask, is this not simply symbolic? But the human mind responds to symbols with extraordinary power. Psychologists have shown that physical rituals can reprogram the subconscious more effectively than thought alone. When you look at a jar filled with coins, crystals, and intention, your mind receives the message that wealth is present, real, and protected. Over time, this belief reshapes behavior, opens perception to opportunities, and builds confidence in financial decisions. The result is a psychological and energetic alignment that changes reality itself. Studies on ritual and habit formation show that when individuals adopt symbolic practices with consistency, they experience measurable improvements in confidence, optimism, and resilience, qualities that directly influence financial success. Imagine now the story of a man named Elias. He was skeptical of these practices, considering them nothing more than superstition. Yet, after years of repeated failures in his business, he decided to follow the advice of a teacher and prepared his own vessel of abundance. He filled it with coins, cinnamon sticks, and a piece of citrine. He placed it in the southeast corner of his living room, as instructed. Within months, he began to notice small but meaningful changes. Debts were resolved more smoothly. Clients began to pay on time, and new contracts appeared unexpectedly. He confessed later that the greatest transformation was not in his external life, but in his inner state. For the first time in years, he felt confident, stable, and capable of growth. The vessel had become a daily reminder of abundance, and in turn, his actions aligned with that reality. Such stories are echoed around the world. In Japan, surveys on household practices revealed that nearly 35% of families keep symbolic objects in their living spaces to attract fortune. In Brazil, rituals involving cinnamon and coins are widely practiced during New Year celebrations to call prosperity. In the United States, research on environmental psychology indicates that households that use positive symbols and rituals report higher levels of satisfaction and hope in their daily lives. The statistics confirm what ancient wisdom has always taught. The environment is not passive. It educates, shapes, and influences your mind every day. Now picture yourself preparing this sacred vessel. As you select each element, you are not simply decorating, you are declaring. When you light a candle and hold the vessel in your hands, repeating a powerful affirmation, you are anchoring energy in the physical world. Some traditions recommend a green or golden candle, colors long associated with growth, stability, and wealth. Others suggest performing the ritual on a new moon, when renewal is strongest. The details may vary, but the essence is always the same. Intention transforms matter, and matter reinforces intention. The vessel becomes a silent partner, an energetic guardian in your home. But let us go deeper. Why must this vessel be placed in the living room? Because the living room is not just any space. It is the convergence point of the home's energy. According to feng shui, the southeast area of the living room corresponds to wealth and growth. When the vessel is positioned there, it acts as a beacon, attracting abundance like a magnet draws metal. And when family members gather in the same space, laughing, talking, or simply sitting, their collective energy feeds the vessel even more. It becomes not just an object, but a living center of prosperity. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what message does your living room currently give about your financial destiny? Does it say that wealth is welcome, that fortune is stable, that growth is inevitable? Or does it suggest loss, fragility, and scarcity? The vessel of abundance exists to rewrite that message. By placing it with care, you are teaching your subconscious, your family, and the very energy of your home that wealth is not a visitor, but a permanent resident. The practice of maintaining this vessel is as important as its creation. Once a week, Clean it gently, remove dust, and express gratitude for the abundance it represents. Gratitude itself is a multiplier of energy. Neuroscience has shown that the habit of gratitude alters the brain's perception of opportunities and strengthens decision-making. Each time you thank the vessel, you are strengthening the mental and spiritual circuit of prosperity. Add to it small coins from time to time, or a drop of essential oil, or a fresh stick of cinnamon. These gestures are not random, they are reinforcements, signals that prosperity is alive and growing. This is why the vessel of abundance is more than an object. It is a dialogue between you and the universe, between your conscious actions and your subconscious beliefs. It is the point where matter and spirit meet, and when treated with respect and consistency, it becomes a powerful ally on your journey towards stability and growth. Yet the story does not end here, because the vessel, as strong as it is, must live in an environment that continues to flow. If the air in your living room is heavy, if the light is dim, if the energy is stagnant, the vessel's effect will be limited. That is why ancient teachings also emphasize daily care for the space itself. Open your windows every morning, even for a few minutes, to let fresh air circulate. It renews the atmosphere and clears stagnant vibrations. Use aromas like citrus or cinnamon in a diffuser, because smell is one of the fastest ways to influence the human mind. Studies in aromatherapy have proven that certain scents increase alertness, optimism, and feelings of abundance. Light plays a role too. Keeping a soft light on in the evening prevents the energy of the house from falling into darkness, symbolizing a home that never closes its doors to prosperity. It may seem simple, but simplicity is often the path to depth. A home that breathes, smells of vitality, and shines with light is a home that welcomes fortune. Combined with the vessel of abundance, these practices turn your living room into a true sanctuary, a space where prosperity not only visits, but stays. And the more consistently you maintain them, the more natural abundance becomes in your daily life. The house begins to feel lighter, conversations flow with ease, money circulates with stability, and joy becomes the atmosphere instead of the exception. Think about this carefully. Across the world, people spend fortunes, seeking external solutions to internal blockages. They chase luck, wait for miracles, or blame circumstances. Yet wisdom insists, abundance begins at home. It begins with the choices you make in your living room, the objects you keep, the words you speak, and the rituals you honor. The vessel of abundance is not a superstition. It is a reminder of a universal principle, that energy responds to attention, and prosperity responds to care. When you choose to treat your home as sacred, life treats you as abundant. What you have discovered until now is only the surface of a much larger journey. You now understand the power of clearing obstacles and creating a vessel of prosperity. But in the next step, we will explore the final revelation, the way to activate and sustain this transformation so that prosperity is not temporary, but eternal. Because abundance is not only about having more, it is about becoming more. And the greatest secret is yet to come. We have arrived at the final stage of this journey, and perhaps you already feel that something has shifted inside you. You now know that your living room is not just a place where furniture rests or where people gather. It is a living field, a mirror of your inner life, and a bridge between your visible actions and the invisible forces that shape your destiny. You have seen how obstacles, even the smallest ones, can silently block prosperity. You have also discovered the vessel of abundance, a sacred practice that transforms intention into reality. But knowledge alone is not enough. What truly changes life is action. And today, the path before you is clear. You have the choice to let your home remain as it is, or to transform it into a sanctuary of abundance. The first step in this plan is awareness. Before you move anything, before you prepare your vessel, you must observe. Walk through your living room as if you were entering it for the first time. Look with fresh eyes. What message does it give? Does it speak of openness, harmony, and light? Or does it whisper of disorder, heaviness, and neglect? Awareness is powerful because it breaks the illusion of habit. When you truly see your space, you can no longer ignore it. The second step is removal. Take out the objects that no longer serve you. The broken clock, the cracked decoration, the the pictures that tie you to sadness, the heavy furniture that blocks the flow. Each removal is not just physical, it is symbolic. You are declaring that scarcity and stagnation no longer belong in your life. Do not underestimate the emotional impact of this act. Many people report feeling lighter, freer, and even more optimistic after cleaning their space with intention. It is as if their own hearts had been cleared along with the room. The third step is preparation. Now that the obstacles are gone, prepare your vessel of abundance. Choose it with care. Fill it with coins, spices, crystals, and a handwritten affirmation. Do not rush this process. Do it with calm, with gratitude, with the certainty that you are not just placing objects inside a container, but creating a symbol that will resonate with your entire being. Place it in the southeast corner of your living room, or in a spot that feels right and protected. This is the physical anchor of your prosperity. The fourth step is activation. Light a candle, hold the vessel in your hands, and speak your affirmation with clarity. Feel the words as if they were already true. Imagine the light of the candle sealing your intention. In this moment, you are not only declaring wealth, you are embodying it. Neuroscience has shown that the brain responds to imagined experiences almost as powerfully as to real ones. This ritual trains your subconscious to expect abundance, and what the mind expects, it creates. The fifth step is maintenance. Prosperity is not a one-time event, it is a rhythm. Care for your vessel weekly. Dust it, add a coin, refresh the aroma with a drop of essential oil, and most importantly, express gratitude. Keep your living room fresh by opening windows, letting light in, and using scents that uplift the spirit. These small actions accumulate and become habits, and habits are the foundation of destiny. The sixth and final step is reflection. Each month, sit in your living room quietly. Observe how it feels, how it supports you, how it mirrors your inner state. Write down your impressions, your progress, and your challenges. This practice makes you conscious of the connection between your home and your life. It keeps you aligned and prevents you from falling back into unconscious patterns. If you follow these 6 steps, awareness, removal, preparation, activation, maintenance, and reflection, you will not only transform your living room, but also yourself. You will internalize abundance as a natural state, and as your inner life changes, your external life will inevitably follow. Opportunities will no longer slip away, relationships will feel lighter, financial flow will stabilize. All you will feel peace in knowing that you are not waiting for luck or fate. You are actively shaping your destiny. Remember this, abundance is not an accident. It is a choice reinforced every day by the way you live, the way you think, and the way you care for your environment. When you honor your living room as the heart of your home, you honor yourself. And when you create order and intention there, you invite the universe to respond in kind. Now I want to speak to you directly. If this journey touched you, if you felt that spark of recognition while listening, do not let it fade. Act today. Begin with one small change in your living room. Place one coin in a vessel with intention. Open a window and let light enter. Say one affirmation with conviction. These small steps are not small, they are seeds. And seeds, when planted with care, always grow. To seal your commitment, I invite you to share your presence here. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss the next step in this journey of abundance. Click the like button so this message can reach more people who need it. And leave a comment with your reflections, your questions, or your personal experiences. You may write anonymously if you wish, because what matters is the act of declaring, the act of participating, the act of saying, I am ready. Your words may inspire someone else who is walking the same path. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a new relationship between you, your home, and your destiny. Let your living room shine as the sanctuary of abundance it was always meant to be, and let your life expand in ways you never thought possible.